Hi folks, very warm welcome to another video here in the Microsoft Sim. I hope you are safe and well wherever you are on this crazy mixed up planet that we call Earth. Folks, the aircraft on your screen is one that I featured in a video the other day, a first impression style video. This is the Flysimware Cessna 414AW Chancellor. Now, it's been updated since I made that video. The version of the aircraft that you're going to see in this episode is version 1.3. Still in beta, but the developer, Mr. Flysimware, has done a bunch of work to it, which we appreciate. And I'm going to look at some of that work as we undertake this flight, and give you my, well, second impression? Is that a thing? I don't know, folks. Right, so what are we going to do? This is going to be quite an adventure. But before we talk about what we're going to do, look who's on board. Yes, she's back. Jude Delicious is back in the right seat where she belongs, alongside the old fella who looks like a young fella. And I'll take any help I can get. What's this bloke doing up here? That looks a bit sus, this bloke in the background. Checking out the engine of the Kingy. He doesn't... Yes, he looks very suspicious. His jeans look a little bit tight too. And what's he holding in his hand? Might have to look the other way on that one. Jude and I are used to doing that. Folks, hang on. We got another bloke over... Look, he's got a twin. He's got a twin, it's the same bloke. The jeans are still as tight. His ass is eating his jeans. He's got a hungry bum, as we call it here in Australia. And what's he doing? It looks like he's misplaced his keys or something. He's got a headache. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Oh, this video's already off on a tangent, folks. We're in a beautiful part of the world. We might talk about what we're going to do. It's going to be quite an adventure. The idea for today's video comes from a viewer. You'll know who you are, mate, and thank you for the suggestion. We're going to do an Outback Milk Run. It's going to be quite a long flight, but hopefully not that long of a video. But let me fire up a little nav map, and I'll show you where we are and where we're going. Alright, so little nav map. Folks, we're in Australia. Specifically the state of Queensland, and we begin our journey in a place called Mount Isa, or the Isa as it's known to locals. That's where we begin, but we're going to end about almost 1,100 nautical miles away in another little place called Brisbane, or Brizzy to the locals. Sometimes Bris Vegas, although I don't like that. Brizzy is what it was when I was growing up. We start in the Isa, and we're going to fly a 9-legger. So first leg is going to take us from Isa down to a place called Boulia, then to Bedourie, then to Birdsville, across to Windora, Quilpie, Charleville, and then a long leg which will take us to a place called Brisbane West, west of Brisbane, like 70 miles west. Brisbane West, I'm going to call it Wellcamp. It's to the west of Toowoomba. And then our final leg across into Brisbane. Long flight, 1,100 nautical miles. I don't know how long this is going to take us. Little nav map is basing its estimate of 8 hours 35 minutes. Jesus, that sounds more like a job. 8 hours 35 minutes on the tools. It's basing that on a profile which is the Cessna Skymaster profile, which is not accurate to this aircraft that we're flying today. But I don't have a profile for this aircraft, so it's going to be a multi-hour journey, folks. It's probably going to take me the best part of the day. And it's at this point that I realise I probably should have thought this through. I'm not sure I have the whole day to fly. In fact, I know I don't. We'll make something up here, folks. We'll get it happening. I'll get to Brisbane. Jude and I will get there. But so this is an Outback Milk Run, and it's based on a real-life flight you can do. Rex flight 5661, I believe. Now, Rex, the airline here in Australia, they do it in a Saab. They do it a bit quicker than what we're going to do today, but still should be a nice interesting adventure. We start in the red stuff out here, way out in the west, and we slowly get sort of a little bit more brown as we get towards Charleville, or the Ville, as it's known to the locals, and then we green up as we get to Toowoomba, and then of course into Brisbane. Expecting pretty good weather en route. We're going to do this VFR so we can have a look at the terrain. Yeah, that's the plan. Long flight, but it won't necessarily be a long video, I don't think. Mainly because when I go into the bloody Google Analytics, YouTube Analytics things, and I realise just how little people actually watch the videos, it's not worth publishing long videos, folks. So that's the plan. The Isa to Brisbane, Outback Milk Run, Jude's on board. Let's go flying. Alright, so welcome on board, folks. Those hands, those poised hands ready to grab are the hands of Jude. I'll get back to you later, Jude. We're going to talk to you, because you don't talk to us, a little bit later in the flight, and I'd really like an explanation of where you've been. But I'm going to need time to come up with that, make shit up. So I'm going to buy myself some time, folks. We're inside a hangar here at the Isa. I didn't know that was... hang on a minute. So it wasn't the plan. Who's this bloke? We've got another bloke. What's going on here? He's on the phone. He's texting. Maybe he's texting the cops, advising of some suspicious-looking characters. Well, he just needs to take a photo of himself. What's going on? And what's up with the shoes? Is he wearing slippers or something? Is this... must be a custom airport. I didn't realise that. Sorry, folks, I'll have to find out where I got this one from. And I'll provide a link to it in the description. I can't imagine that's part of the stock. Now we're outside peeking in the windows. Hey, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Hey, Jude. Over here. Jude. Jude. Get back inside for you, folks. My apologies. So we're running version 1.3, the beta. And what you'll also see here is a texture mod. The panel is sort of this dark grey. And the texture mod also extends to the cabin, which makes it look like that. Removing the mirror at the rear of the aircraft. I kind of prefer it without reflection. I don't need to be looking at myself, folks. I know what I look like. I know it's not pretty. I don't need reminding. If I want to look at something pretty, I just turn my head, and there she is. How are you, lovely? Look at those freckles, eh? Oh, Jude, I've missed you. We need to talk about some stuff, though, Jude. You disappeared. You went off with another bloke. A bloody Englishman, no less. I thought you had standards, Jude. Anyway, folks, I'm going to get us started, get us out of this hangar, get us onto a runway. I'm just noticing a barking dog in my ear. That's what I'm noticing. My apologies, folks. That's bloody loud. Hopefully it doesn't come through that bad on the video. And she's still going. I don't know why. Anyway, I'll get us started, folks, out onto a runway. We'll go flying. Alrighty, so we're in business here, folks. Shout out to the good folk at the RFDS up there in the Isa, and all the RFDS bases around the country. Good people doing very important work. They are. We have got engine start achieved. We've got a flight plan in, which reflects what you saw in the little nav map. So first legs down to Boulia, 137 on the old naughty miles. 164 is our direct track, so pretty much runway heading, because we're going to take runway 16 out of the Isa. I'll just undim that, or illuminate it, it's probably a better word. Our fuel flow thingy is telling us we've got 93 gallons on board. That's about right, about 50% is what we had. We've got 45% fuel. Okay, so that kind of corresponds with 93 gallons, because it's just over 200 total fuel, isn't it? Yeah. Interesting to see what the fuel flow is now. I think the developer has adjusted that. I sort of hacked it in the first impressions video. I don't know what he set it to. I don't know what the changes are. We're going to find out during the course of this video. What am I noticing up front? I'm noticing a change in the oil pressure is now in the green. It was kind of over here, wasn't it? Yeah, fuel quantity kind of ties in with what I'm seeing there. So half tanks, that's plenty for us. Transponder, we're going to go down VFR, so 1200's good. As I said, flight plan, we're all good. 164 is going to be our direct track. We'll just adjust the needle to reflect that, which is about there. That was a pretty lucky guess. What else? We'll go elapsed time here in a minute when we get airborne. Won't need pressurization. Trim should be good. Trims are good. Flaps will set on the way out, or even now. We've got our lighting set. We've got our taxi light on. All the switches are in the right places. Jude, you happy? Always. I'm happy that you're back on board, Jude. We still got that bloke over there, still looking at the engine of the Kingy. And we've probably still got the bloke in the hangar. And now we've got another bloke over here. What's going on here? Fred Astaire over here. Looks like he's doing a little jig with the hat. Alright, parking brake off. Let's go. Let's commit some aviation here, folks, eh? Taxi out, runway 16 here in the ISA. Lots of flying to do. Away we go. We live in an interesting world, don't we, folks? There's lots happening. And there's a lot of pretty ordinary stuff happening. It really does. We're getting some pretty major stutters here in the sim. What's going on there? Don't know. I think this is the first time I've flown out of this airport. I don't remember visiting here in the Microsoft Sim. And I don't remember downloading a custom version of the airport. But I obviously did. I don't remember a lot of things, folks. Here we go. So runway 16 is off to the right hand side, is it? Max something. I don't know, max wingspan or max weight or something, I don't know. We're going to take it. We're going to take it as though it's... We're going to assume that it's safe for us. Jude's on board. How could things not be safe when she's on board? Hey? Yeah, we live in a pretty messed up world, don't we? And I don't know about you guys and girls, but I come over here to the world of sim to escape some of it. So if you're watching these videos and you're thinking, God, this guy carries on with a lot of nonsense, you'd be correct. First of all, you'd be correct. We're gonna continue now. I'm gonna take a lefty here. But I do it to it's a coping mechanism, folks. That's what it is. We all have them. We all have our ways of coping. That's what I've discovered. One of the many lessons that I've learned in my time on the planet. Everyone's just trying to get through. And we all have our ways of doing so. And the older you get, the more you realise, or the less judgmental, I suppose, you become. Because you realise that people are dealing with some pretty messed up shit. And it's not easy to keep going. For some people, very, very difficult. So I think you learn to be less judgmental. At least that's what I think. I've reached that point. Maybe some others haven't. They become more entrenched in their ways and more judgmental. I don't know. Still got those ground roll sounds, don't they? Doesn't it? Don't we? Now, I've got my sound turned well down here. I find that the ground roll stuff is a little, as I mentioned in the first impressions, and I'll try not to labour the points that I covered in that first impressions video, but ground roll was one thing. We'll sort of chuck a Yui here down the end of 16 and line ourselves up for a departure and basically head straight out for about 140 miles and we should hit Boulia. Alright, so lined up on the centre line, we'll move our heading bug around. There we go. Heading bug aligned now. We've got an altitude plugged in. We've got flaps trim set. we've got our transponder over to altitude. I'll just zoom out a little bit on the display. Yeah, basically runway heading. We've got a nice headwind here off of 1.6. Landing lights can come on, which are down here. Jude, oh, look at the glow. You're glowing, Jude. I'm glowing on the inside just to have you on board. You good, love? I'll take that as implied consent. Let's do it, folks. First leg, Mount Isa to Boulia. Here we go. Introduce the fool. Away we go. We're seeing some airspeed. Yep, we're seeing the needle move. That's good. Our timer has started through 60. I could probably think about rotating about here. Well, she feels a little bit heavier than she was. Has he changed the dynamics? Maybe. Positive rate, gear up. Runway heading. Oh, it feels a bit heavier. And we've only got Jude and half tanks on board. Maybe he's adjusted the dynamics. We'll find out. Runway heading, folks. We'll get our flaps up nice and early as well. I think we'll get Georgie doing the flying from pretty early on here. I don't know whether the developer has messed around with the autopilot or not. I guess we'll find out. There's only one way to find out. Roll, pitch, autopilot. What's it going to do? Going to hold that angle? Hopefully. Heading hold, please. Georgie, 700 feet a minute. I bet we try for about 1,000. Nice easy number. In fact, we can do better than that. Let's go 1,500. Let's get it up there. Hey, Jude. It's one of your favourite sayings. Sorry, folks. I'll try and refrain from too much crudeness here. That's the town of Isa. We'll go outside and give you a look at it. Here she is. An Isa morning. Beautiful, eh? Absolutely lovely. That could be a mine over there, just saying. It is a mine. Town of Isa. There we go. Didn't spend a lot of time in this part of the world, but do remember being in the Isa. What do we fly up to the Isa? A jet of some description. I can't remember which one. From Brisbane. Anyway, folks, first leg is successfully underway. We probably want to track the magenta as well, Georgie. So can you just bring us back to that, mate? We'll be at 6.5 without too much delay here. So first leg underway, off to or down to Boulia. I'll probably join you for the approach in there, and that's probably what we'll do, folks, for this video. We'll capture the departure, the arrivals, some en route stuff if there's something that I feel like sharing. We might have a chat with Jude on board, en route, and have a look at what the developer's done in the update to this aircraft. That's the plan. We'll see you in a bit. Alright, folks, we're about 12 or 13 minutes out of Boulia. Thought I'd take the opportunity to share with you what the developer has shared around what's been updated. Now, the list on your screen, this is update version 1.2. This was the changelog, right? So there are 21 changes that he made in 1.2, and then sort of 1.3 came through about a day later. And we'll look at 1.3 as well. So this is 1.2. Autopilot was fixed, not using the pilot altimeter. I think I brought that up in the first impressions, as did many other people. No idea about an armrest delay animation. Quick views have been updated, I don't use them. Manifold needles fixed tied to an electrical circuit. Don't know if I noticed that. Tail number, clock and fuel computer moved back onto the battery circuit. Yeah, but it's on even without the battery being on, is what I noticed at the start of the video, I think. Missing inner mesh, didn't notice. Shimmering on the face of the fuel computer, didn't notice. Assorted minor modelling bugs fixed. Okay. The altimeter will display metric when sim settings are changed to the metric system. okay. I don't have mine that way. Garmin the autopilot got updated. Fuel flow was too high, absolutely. Forgot to put it back after testing. Oh, it happens to all of us, mate. This will get updated a few times during... Okay, so he's going to fine-tune the fuel flow. It's definitely much, much less in this version than what it was in the first one. Updating textures. Okay, GPU interior sound is now the correct sound. And some other sounds have been reduced. I think I called out some of that. Radar altimeter test mode now moves the radar needle. I don't think I looked at that. Alerter coupled light now stays on. We added an occluder mesh. Okay, oil pressure is in the green, so I've noticed that, but we'll get more tweaks. Okay, tablet weather page. Yeah, I think I looked at it. I don't actually use it though. Interior windshield glass effects. So there is a mod available. I'm not running with it, but I saw it pop up on the .to where you can have a clean glass. Some of the performance got updated. Oh, okay. So when I took off from Mount Isa, I kind of noticed it felt a little bit different. Is that part of that? I don't know. Anyway, that's version 1.2. Let me just jump back inside the aircraft to see where we are. We've got 33 nautical miles into Boulia. Yeah, we've got time to go through 1.3, so let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is the changelog for version 1.3. Missing interior wall. Okay. The autopilot in 1.2 got a ton of good fixes, but we changed a single value that broke the ILS. I'm not flying, I haven't flown this aircraft down an ILS, so I hear other people talking about it. So I'll go, okay. Visor tooltip had the wrong text, didn't notice. Taxi light now turns off when gear is raised. Okay, didn't notice that. Elevator authority was improved for low speeds. Okay, interesting. Approach mode, yeah. So approach mode and the ILS and stuff like that, I've heard other people talking about it. Updated the fuel flow value again and updated the stall behaviour. Okay, well I haven't explored that part of the flight envelope. You must close the cowl flaps at high altitude to maintain temps. Da, 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 da. I've got the cowl flaps closed, I think. Auto mixture is now automatically enabled. Yes, I did notice that. Okay, so there you go. Version 1.2 and 1.3. So what's that, about 28 individual items? Thank you to Mr. Flysimware for updating the aircraft, and there's more work to do by the sounds of it. So we look forward to those updates. We're about 27 miles now from Boulia. We'll be beginning our descent. Jude, what do you want to do here? Let me see if I can read your mind. What am I picking up? What sort of... I'm feeling touch and go. I'm feeling touch and go. That's my signature move, Jude. I touch, you go. Anyway, but in an aviation context, should we do a... Yeah, we'll do a touch and go. I think so. This is going to be a long day otherwise. And then our next stop after that's down at Bedourie. Alright, touch and go into Boulia. I'll see you for that one. Alright folks, just turning final here, runway 14 at Boulia. The town is off to the east of the strip. We'll take some flap, probably a little bit high at this point. Got some road traffic there. Just passing underneath our left wing. So touch and go here at Boulia is what's called for. Was how I have interpreted Jude's telepathic utterings. We'll do a touch and go, and then head down to down towards Bedourie. We'll have to stop at Bedourie for fuel and a bit of a dunny break, I would suggest, and probably give Jude an opportunity to strut along the tarmac. Just try and keep yourself presentable, Jude, and keep yourself away from any Englishmen, lest you end up in another basement. Alright folks, here we go. On final, runway 14. Aircraft feels pretty stable, it always was. Well, always. It was in the previous video. Version 1 anyway. Probably a little quick here, a little hot. A little bit of a breeze. But some of it is in front of us, which is good. Probably come off the juice, go into a bit of a flare. We're going to have to lose some speed here. Oh yes. Not pretty. Landed very flat indeed. We'll get a couple of stages of flap out. She's a bit squirrely on the ground. Introduce some juice. Away we go. Keep it rolling. We're rolling. There's 90 knots. Yeah, we landed very, very flat there. Alright. We get our gear coming up. Get our flaps coming up. We'll make a nice early right turn down towards Bedourie. And we'll see you for that approach, folks. That's going to be a full stop. Be time for smoko at that point. Alright, on approach into Bedourie, we'll give Georgie a rest at this point. About 6 miles to run, probably slightly low on profile. That's okay. We're giving ourselves an opportunity here, a bit of a final approach. And we'll make this one a full stop. We're getting sort of pushed away from the strip a little bit, so we might just a little bit of left stick might help. Now the strip here at Bedourie is a little bit out of town, so I'm not expecting to see a lot of civilization here as we look towards the strip. I do see the strip though, and I see some population. I thought it was a bit further away from the town. But my bad. Never been to Bedourie in real life, and never been here in the virtual sense either. I don't think. Don't want to get too much lower than that. Yeah, I'm through about 150 knots. That's fine. Landing lights out. Everything's good. Yeah, definitely need to stop here for some fuel. We're getting a little bit light on it. And I also need to visit the facilities, as they say. Or as Jude says, get me in the dunny. That's not a woman of infinite class. Although I don't know how she's got that way. We'll take gear as well here. I don't know how she's become like that. As we met her twin sister the other day, True, didn't we? She was a classy bird. I don't know how Jude got to be the way, you know, crude Jude. I don't know. Crude Jude with a bit of tood, or chewed, as we would say here in Australia. Anyway, fella, focus on the bloody flying, will ya? It's very nice. Aircraft's performing really well. Pretty happy with it. Here we go. There's plenty of videos that have appeared in the last couple of days featuring the aircraft, reviews, etc., first impressions. Runway 14 again here at Bedourie. Nice southeasterly breeze. See if we can do a better job at landing this one. Just slowly come off the juice. Alright, see if we can hold it off a little bit longer. Bleed that speed off a little bit longer. Coming down. Oh, yeah, a bit squirrely on the ground again. We'll get our flaps up. We're just going to roll out all the way to the end here. That ground roll, yeah, bloody annoying. Elevator got quite sensitive there during the flare. I need to keep a bit more power on, fella. Alright folks, so Jude and I are going to have a bit of a smoko here in Bedourie, and then set ourselves up for our next leg down to Birdsville. I'll probably join you. I won't show every leg in the video. I think what I'll do is I'll probably join you somewhere en route Windora, would be my guess. Yeah, I think that will be the plan as we pull off here and look towards the fuel. Oh, there we go. Let's sort of chuck a Yui here, get some fuel happening. Try not to hit the fuel bowser with your wingtip, mate. Alright. Parking brake on there. Oh, thanks very much. Fuel pop-up. We'll fill it to about 85%. Achievement unlocked down here. I achieved something. Is this the first time I've fueled at a Bowser in this sim? Well, it probably is. Okay. Congratulations me. How's that, Jude? How's that for a thrill? We got an achievement. Folks, we'll see you, I think somewhere en route Windora. Alright, folks, I did say that you'd next hear my voice en route Windora. There's been a change in plans. We're currently en route Birdsville, so that's the leg before the one to Windora. And we're actually going to finish up here in Birdsville. Why? Oh, because Jude's getting a little bit toey, if you know what I mean. She wants to, she's heard that the bloody Birdsville races are on in about a week from today. And she wants to experience that as anyone would want to. It's a good event, good fun from what I hear. Another item that's on the bucket list of the old fella that will probably never get ticked off. But Birdsville races, look it up, folks, if you're not familiar with it. It's a bloody good time. And Jude wants to experience that, so she wants me to park the aeroplane here at Birdsville, bringing our planned milk run to a somewhat premature end. Jude, you'd be familiar with premature ends. Yep. So we've got to make this a decent landing here at Birdsville. I haven't been here in the virtual world for a long time. Really long time. It really makes no difference, even if I'd been here yesterday. It doesn't guarantee anything in terms of competency here, folks. It's I've been going for a bit over 2 hours. Life calls. I've got stuff to do. I probably should have thought it through this flight before I launched into a plan to do the full milk run. Just going to run out of time and need to be doing other things, and that just happens to coincide with Jude wanting to stay in Birdsville for the races. So it's a nice bit of alignment, isn't it? The strip's down here, 12 o'clock. Here we go. The strip's not far from the racetrack, I believe, here in the Ville. There's the strip, so we might sort of head out here. Get Georgie doing some heading holds. Sort of make our way out to the southwest for a bit. Here we go. So another flight sim news, recent flight sim news. The Concorde's been released. I'm sure there's many people that are happy to see that. Available in the sim, the iconic Concorde. That won't be on my wish list. Not because it isn't a great aircraft. Hang on a second, we need to do something about this altitude situation. Georgie, we're getting a little bit low, mate. I probably need to do some flying, considering this is going to be the last landing I make for a little while. Concorde's now available. We've got the BAE 146 from Just Flight. That's not far away. We've got the Milviz Cessna 310. I like the look of that one. I like the fact that developers are making these Cessna twins. So a few things inbound, a few things to look forward to. Here's the Ville. We'll get that buzzer. We'll get rid of that for you, folks. And for Jude, she doesn't want that through her headphones. It's been an enjoyable flight. Just a little bit too long for the old fella today. There we go. We'll land on another sort of 1-4-ish runway by the looks of it. The airport planners must have known a thing or two about the prevailing breeze. Town of Birdsville in the distance. Take final flap now that we're on final. There we go, beautiful. Try and make this a decent one. Look at that. Surprise, surprise, runway 14 at Birdsville. A little bit of trimming work required. All headwind here. No excuse to screw this up. Into a round out and flare. Hold it off a little bit more, for as long as we can. Centerline touchdown, hopefully. Yep, hold it off. There we go. Ah, the best landing I saved till last, folks. There we go. Folks, thank you for your company on in another video. Apologies for the change of plan. Those of you that were really had your hearts set on a full journey all the way to Brisbane, I can only apologise for that and for everything else, folks. But appreciate your company. Thank you, Jude, for your company. Thanks for returning to my life. Thank you, Linesman. Thank you, Ball Boys. We'll see you in the next video, folks. Bye for now.